another unboxing from Lion Brand. I bought these a couple days ago. I was actually pretty quick to get it in the mail. It came this morning. I bought it earlier this week. I don't remember what day. Today's Saturday. I bought it maybe Wednesday? I think today's Saturday. Today's Saturday. I'm like 85% sure. So I bought a bonus bundle of Mandala. And it is exactly what it looks like in the picture, and this is exactly what I was hoping for. So Mandala is really nice. It's a thinner, if you like the caked yarns, it's one of the thinner cakes. It kind of, it's about the same thickness as skinny cakes. So we'll actually compare it to that in a second. What I don't like about skinny cakes from Caron is that it's a Caron cake, just two of them back to back. So it's a repeat of the pattern. Here, it's actually a totally increased version. So I'll show it to me in a second. Before we do that, the other thing I bought was the Craft Cakes kit, where it's two of each of the Mandala craft cakes. So they're the tiny. This is going to be similar. Red Heart has one. It's like mini skeins. They're little minis. They also have like an amigurumi one. I love these because the middle looks like a heart, and a lot of these are super adorable. Very Insta-worthy or Insta-ready to purchase. But they're super adorable. I'll have to check on the color names for these because it doesn't actually tell you on the box, and I don't remember what the color names are. It's simply the bonus, the craft bundle. Ooh, I'll have to edit that out because my address is on there. But you can see they're really cute. You get two of each of the 4 colorways. And there's one more down here. Yoink that out of there real quick. Here we go. So there are the 4 beautiful colorways. Aren't they pretty? This one, you can hear me say it a lot, reminds me of the Steelers. And then this one is very oceany, but it also has like that purple. It's really pretty, very summery. This looks a lot like Thanksgiving over here, or like fall. And then this one looks a lot like Valentine's Day. And they have really logical names, I'm sure. But I'll check that out and post those notes in the comments. You can also go over to Lion Brand's site, and I'm sure they're there as well. So we're going to pop that back into our little box here. And we're going to close that up, and we're going to focus in on this Mandala. Mandala? I'm pretty sure it's Mandala. So one of the things that I love about this, for comparison's purpose, this is a skinny cake by Caron in almost the exact same colorway. Actually, might be the exact same colorway. It's got some gray in here if this doesn't have any gray. So this is 8 ounces, 795 yards. This is 10 ounces. You can see it's 1,181 yards. It's a lot. This is also a lot, but not quite as much as this. But what you'll see is it repeats a few times. And I love cakes because you don't have to do a lot of color changing yourself. And if I wanted something like this, I would buy skinny cakes. But sometimes what I want is this giant version, because I might want to do a very large blanket. And instead of having repeats over and over, a common one is some of the Mobius. It's not the word I'm looking for. It's another word like that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Mosaic blankets that are really popular right now. I just saw, I think MJ Off the Hook post some on Instagram. You see these giant sections of color, like big. You can't see me doing giant sections of color with my hands right now, but they'll be, 6-7 inches of color, and then it'll change to the next color and the next, and it'll be overlaid with like a gray or a white or a black or something like that. Or maybe you'll see them start an end with like the inside and the outside of it so they don't overlap, or you'll see two cakes of yarn used or something like that. Skipius has a lot of these with like a tourlet or a whirl and a whirlette. So you have one that's going to change colors and one's going to be the same the whole way across. And you want those big repeats of color. Well, to do that with Mandala standard size or like a Caron skinny cake is you would have to get a bunch of these or cut the cakes. And I don't want to cut the cakes. That's the nice thing about cakes, is you don't generally have to cut them. And there's a lot of you who cut your cakes out there. No worries. I sometimes do too, depending on what I'm making. When I made unicorn mitts, I had to cut the cakes because I needed only a small amount. I needed like 5 rows of each color. But the only way to get all the colors in a amount of yarn that was realistic without having to buy like 10 skeins of yarn for the small amount that I needed, it was easier to buy a cake. This is the same thing here. I want to make a big blanket, and I'm going to need a gray that goes with this. I'll probably grab, I have some Pound of Love around here in gray that I'll put this with. And that's going to look amazing with these big chunks of the colors. It's going to be these big colorways where if I did it with this, it would be stripier instead of chunky. It'd be more like a thin stripe and a thin stripe and a thin stripe. So this is exactly what I was hoping to see. It's huge. It is basically, if you took the enlarging ray from Honey, I Blew Up the Kids and applied it to yarn, except it kept the yarn the same size. So it's great. I'm excited. I'm going to get this onto my hook, and I'm going to try this out with a nice mosaic pattern with gray, because rainbow, like fluorescent rainbow and light gray, one of my favorite combinations. As you know, I am in either monochrome or rainbow. Generally don't wear anything in between. I like bright colors with very dark colors, and I like my gray and my black. So we're going to combo this with gray, so it gives it a little bit of a toned down look. I think with black it would pop a lot and it would be a bit too much contrast. I want a light contrast. And we'll come back and revisit some of those skinny cakes. If you haven't watched the skinny cake video, I have on here somewhere where I reviewed it. It's great. It's wonderful yarn. It's great for making like granny squares and stuff, because you can get a lot of work out of one skein. So thank you so much. I'll post all those notes down in the description of how much this was. I believe I got it for 30% off with a coupon, because that's how I roll. You guys know that. So we got it on a discount, and I got, again, just a couple, like 3 or 4 days ago. It was a really quick turnaround. They are running out of these. Everyone's buying them, and you can see why. They're amazing. They're huge. And who doesn't want this much Mandala? It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. You can also find my review of the original Mandala yarn in my yarn review section. I'll try to remember to link it below so you can find the original. This is the exact same size. There's nothing changed here, so I don't really need to re-review the yarn other than tell you it goes twice as far. So it's going to be a huge amount of yarn. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. I'll be posting this probably later today, so hopefully, if it is in fact Saturday, you'll see this on Saturday. If not, you'll probably see it on Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. I hope if you're watching this when it goes live, happy 4th of July in the United States. If you were in Canada, I hope your Canada Day was good last week. And if you're watching this sometime in the future, I hope whatever holiday is coming up for your particular location is a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Or if there isn't one, have a great week. I hope it is calm and productive.